welcome to episode 91 of Radio Free Indoor. And we are live on YouTube, of course, Facebook, and on Twitter. I am Jamie. With me is my son, Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Hi, very well, thank you.
Yeah.
Hectic as always. Hectic as always.
It is. It's been really, really hectic. And I have to apologize. I forgot to upload episode 91 as an audio file on our normal podcast channel. So I am busy editing. I totally forgot. I thought I had done it. So that'll be posted sometime this week. And then this episode will be posted, say Saturday or Sunday. Depends on how busy I am, of course. But so it's everything's going, especially on the lead up to Star Wars Celebrations. I've been right busy trying to get everything right and get everything. I went down to a friend of mine and managed to pick up my Mandalorian armor for Star Wars Celebrations. Let me just grab the gun. Look at that, bad boy. Look at that gun that he made me. Look at that.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That is, believe it or not, YouTube, it's not a real weapon. It is all out of foam. It's a con-safe foam Mandalorian gun. And then he also gave me the helmet. There we go. There's the helmet. That is made out. All that's made out of foam. Look at that. How like cool.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah. It fits me as well. Hold on.
I guess your colours have been picked for you.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I'll show you how it fits. Hold on. So what we do is we have to put it in like my glasses, and then hopefully you can still hear me.
Wow, I can.
And of course, I'll always have a helmet hair with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a good friend of mine, Ian Leonard, made that. He's on Facebook, so give him a shout if you like that. He makes no end of little foam props and stuff like this. He's sort of retiring from it, but keep an eye out on his page because you never know what he's going to do. I will. And so he's done me one. He's done me the full armor, and he's done Nicholas a helmet, and I've got to do the rest of his armor, unfortunately.
Well, it's not that far away, so hopefully you'll have time to do it.
Oh my God, will I have time to do it? I'll tell you what, I've been doing a lot. I've been doing 3D printed. I got my 3D printer just here, and I've been printing little ion boxes, and they're everywhere. They're all just stacked. When I say everywhere, you think I would have one to pick up, but no. I must have chucked them down somewhere. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I've got 3D printing these little bad boy, these little arms that go on the proton pack. You could just see just there. Yeah. Been busy 3D printers. So yeah, been pretty busy so far. Chris, what have you been up to? Because you've been to the States and you've come back. And you've been a bit fuddled, haven't you? Because you were just saying to me that you couldn't remember that you haven't watched the Indiana Jones trailer and you hadn't watched the Mandalorian 3 trailer. And I had to say, do you know what? We watched them last time.
Yeah. So obviously I'm a transatlantic flyer quite often now for work purposes, and sometimes everything gets very, very busy, and I can't put the full time in that I want to some of my hobbies, like Star Wars. So it's like I struggle watching any TV, so I always try and make it a priority to watch Star Wars because I don't know, it's that binge food kind of TV to me. Might not be the best, but it's always fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, it is. I must admit, I've been sort of binging certain bits myself, but we'll get into that as we go along. I've been watching The Last of Us, of course, and we've been watching The Bad Batch, of course, and Star Trek Picard has just come back, season 3, and I have to say, I'm not going to do a review of that either, but I have to say, I'm thinking, what am I watching? This is unbelievable. It's what real Star Trek, like classic Star Trek. It's I don't know. It's like Alex Kurtzman. Alex Kurtzman has stepped away and let somebody else take the reins, and this guy knows Star Trek, and he's finally made a Star Trek of the Next Generation that we all wanted. So, um, you know, I can't believe it. And so, one episode has been on Amazon Prime. No, not Amazon. Yeah, it is on Amazon Prime, and it's also on Paramount Plus. And I can't wait till this next episode of Picard season 3, because I think what it's going to do is totally wreck on the other 2 seasons, which were rubbish, right out the window. So yeah, Trek back with an A plus, with a lot of starship porn, if you know what I mean. And because we do like our starships, I've got a couple of them here. Love the starship porn. Yes. So I've been pretty, and of course I've been working quite busily. So and I know you've been working as well, haven't you? And you phoned me up and you had some good news. Do you want to share it with the view?
I'm trying to think of what good news. Oh yes, that good news. Yes. I had a I had a great moment of time and clarity to understand the need to propose to my girlfriend, and she's now my fiance. So we're all very happy over here, and can't wait to start wedding planning. Really.
Fantastic news. Yes, Chris and Holly got engaged. You phoned me up and you told me, and you did it, and you took photos. Over the moon we are. I'll tell you what, Holly is a lovely, lovely lady, and I see big things. Well, I knew you two were going to stay together. I just felt it in my bones when you first two got together, and I can't wait for her to be my daughter-in-law. Fantastic! And welcome to the Burns family. That's for sure. But her name's Byrne anyway, isn't it? Her last name?
Yes, it's a different spelling.
It's different spelling, but it's just Burns. Traditional Burns with an S on the end, isn't it?
We'll see how that goes for sure.
What are you saying? You're staying with Burns, aren't you? Don't let me down, son.
No. We're going to double barrel it.
Burns.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what? That don't make sense.
I'm just kidding. I'm just pulling your leg. Ooh, don't worry.
Don't get me nervous, son. Don't get me nervous. I'm getting too old for being nervous on stuff like that nowadays.
Don't worry.
Right. Oh, the other thing as well. Hopefully, we'll be having a guest joining us. He's at the dentist at the moment. He's at the dentist at the moment. I've sent him an invite, and as soon as he gets back, and hopefully he can speak, he'll be joining us. And the guest is Jason W. Chrisman, who will be at Star Wars Celebrations. so he'll be able to tell us all about what he's going to be doing there. That's for sure. Star Wars artist, brilliant.
It's going to be really, really exciting.
Oh yeah, it is. It's going to be mad. I've just took a swig of coffee myself, and it's gone down the wrong way. Should we get over to some news? Maybe see what's been cooking, been going around the Star Wars universe. See what you've managed to dig up.
100%.
Let's go over to the news. I should actually have a bit of a jingle there, but as soon as I get one of those little steamy play decks, it should be okay. So I'm going to head over to Fantatreks because I love using Fantatreks. And I have to say, Chris, I've also put the feelers out for the Cantina 2 nightclub as well. Trying to get ourselves on the VIP list, hopefully. Let's see how that goes. If not, we'll just buy normal regular tickets. See if we can be upgraded. But yeah. So we had the Super Bowl come up. The Super Bowl came up, and it had a couple of interesting trailers, as they normally do. And one of them was Indiana Jones: Dial of Destiny. Now, you said you could you can't remember the Indiana Jones one, could you, at the time? So
I'm pretty sure I didn't. No, I've not seen it because the Super Bowl was on the 13th and I was away then.
Yeah, the Super Bowl trailer, but we watched the normal trailer, should I say? It's like a big game spot or something, is it? I'm sure it is.
Maybe so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure for sure.
I'm just.
I guess we'll find out.
That was just blasted in my ears. I've just setting it up the link. So yeah, I'm going to put it on now, and hopefully, you'll be able to hear it. And we can do just a quick live look at it, and hopefully we'll be allowed on YouTube because it's fair usage, should I say? Yeah, sounds like sounds. There we go. Boop, dip. There we go. Here we go. So this is Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny, the big game TV spot. So Disney have paid an awful lot of money to show this.
You ever met? My memory's a little fuzzy. Are you still a Nazi? Give 'em hell, Indiana Jones!
Ooh, looks good.
What are you doing here? Hey,
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. How cool was that? Does that sound cool?
I'll wait to see. I'm skeptical on how good it will be.
All right. Did you happen to see the trailer for The Flash? Maybe.
No.
Oh, Chris, what are you doing? Right. So, basically, you also had the brand new trailer for the Flash movie, which, of course, all us youngins that were around in the 70s and 80s remember the best Batman in the world, which was Michael Keaton, and he's back as Batman in the new Flash trailer, in the new Flash film. Now it's going to be featuring the other couple of other Batmans, maybe, and we'll play it and get another live reaction. What do you reckon, Chris? So I'd like to see your live reaction on these.
100%. Let's do it.
Let's do it. This is the Flash official trailer. Here we go. It's best if I put sound up, really.
You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe. So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one? Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not going to lose her again.
It looks really, really good, to be fair.
Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets. My face.
Ezra Miller, me and Ezra Miller.
face.
Thing of his dreams.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be. Bruce, I could fix things. You could also destroy everything.
This can't be happening. I completely broke the universe.
Sorry. We've been waiting for you.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
You are.
Yeah. I'm Batman.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, There might not be a future.
What's the play? Batman, what do we do? We try not to die.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara.
I'm
Well, we're Barry.
Barry, what are you doing? Our kids are going to want to see this.
Whoa, what do you reckon to that? Hello? Are you shocked? What do you reckon?
I don't know. I don't know.
No? It looks really,
No.
really good. The only problem is,
Does
of course,
it?
it's Ezra
Does it?
Miller. You know what I mean?
Does
After
it
all-
look good?
Yeah, it looks to me. Anything with Michael Keaton as the original Batman is going to be good. Yeah.
It's it feels very much like I just don't know why I need to see it, because aren't they just chucking everything in the bin anyway?
Do you know, you have got a big point with there? Yeah, they are literally chucking everything in the bin. Shazam, Black Adam, Superman. There is a scene with Superman in this film, which they've cut. It's now in the bin, as well as Wonder Woman in the bin. Yet, for some reason, they're keeping Ezra Miller. You know, he's allegedly grew him up. You know what I mean? We're doing like, you know what I mean? But there again, Hollywood do like their sort of, you know, can't really say it, but I'm looking forward for some reason. It looks mental. It looks really, really good. I like Ezra Miller as the Flash. When I watched the Snyderverse, I liked him as the Flash in the Snyder version of the cut, should I say. It was quite good. But we've been waiting for many, many years for Michael Keaton to come back as Batman. And unfortunately, his first run was going to be in Batgirl, which we got cancelled. So now this is the first time you're going to be seeing him in the DCU. But I think what they're going to do is because this is based on the comic Flashpoint, which they did in the Flash TV show. So this is going to rejingle everything. And so it's going to sort of null and void the Snyderverse and bring it into the James Gunn verse, if you know what I mean. Everything's going to change from that point. So that's that.
I don't know. The only DC film that I actually really liked in the last 10 years has probably been the Batman. I don't think I care about anything else in between at this point. I didn't see Justice League. I've not seen Justice League Snyder Cut. I've not seen. Did Batman have his own films? Oh yeah, I think I did see them many years ago. I've not seen Wonder Woman. I've not seen Waterman, whatever his name is.
Waterman, Aquaman.
So I'm a bit stumped in the DC universe, but I do love
this is Waterman.
I do love the Batman. I think that's a really good film. But everything else, I'm a bit unsure about at this point. I don't know if I'll see it. I'll want to.
Okay.
I think we'll see. We'll see. But at this point, I'm questioning, like, is this like an Avengers film? Because it looks like an Avengers film, but it just called The Flash.
Well, no, Avengers is Marvel, Chris.
No. But it's like an Avengers type of film of like it's a team up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's just called The Flash. It's like calling, end game, Thanos' return, and that's literally
It's
it.
yeah,
Like,
it is one of those endpoints. Yeah, it's because what happens because the Flash, if I remember rightly, Flashpoint is where he breaks time basically, and and he tries desperately to put it back together, but unfortunately, it's not going to be the entire. It's like a butterfly effect. Once he's broke it, he can't get it back to the way it was, and he keeps trying multiple times with different timelines, but it doesn't seem to correct it. But I've such a long time ago since I read the comic, but it looks interesting. Looks interesting. Right, so let's talk about some Star Wars stuff. On
yeah, for
Fantatrack,
sure.
I noticed that Calvin Scott is releasing a brand new comic at some point called Tales from the Death Star, which is about just reading from Fantatracks. It says Tales from the Death Star. That's no moon. Every scattered and destroyed, the ruins of the Death Star are a sinister place. From the destruction of Andor, from the destruction of Alderaan to the shadows of the forest moon, alien creatures, phantom starships, deadly artifacts, vengeful spirits all stalk the halls of the infamous space station. As writer Calvin Scott tells from the Rancor Pit, Star Wars High Republic, an all-star team of artists reveal the hidden evils that lurk within the charred remains of the ultimate firepower in the universe. Could be quite good. I've got a couple of Calvin Scott's comics. He did some Ghostbusters once. I even had an interview with him, believe it or not. I had a 2-hour interview with him a couple of years ago, and as I was editing it, my PC caught fire. My PC caught fire and I lost everything. You remember that, Chris?
No, yeah, not good. Not good for sure.
I lost everything, and I tried to get him back, but he was just too busy. In fact, he was just going into the Star Wars universe, and he couldn't talk about anything in the Star Wars universe. And because I was thinking, because he laid a couple of like tidbits, but that was about it. But I'll have to get in contact with him. He's an English lad, so I'll have to get back in contact with him, see if he's free, really, and maybe come on and talk about it. Or maybe he's going to be at Star Wars Celebrations. You never know. We'll have to see. Yeah,
We do never know at this point. It
Mm.
is 100% for sure going to be a really, really interesting time.
yeah. Also, there's some other bits and bobs. There's a Disneyland After Dark to return for 4 nights in May in 2023. Now, those Mickey loving goofballs at Disney Park blog bring us some excellent news as the return of Disneyland After Dark is confirmed with a pair of throwback nights in April and 4 Star Wars nights in May. Star Wars nights. Well, I've never heard of this Disneyland After Dark. Claim your allegiances with Disneyland After Dark Star Wars Night, galactic and fantastic. This event is back with 4 nights, the most ever, where you can live your own epic Star Wars adventure. By wooed watching Star Wars celebrate the night as fireworks illuminate the skies above Disneyland Park. This pyrotechnic spectacular is set to the powerful music of Star Wars films. Prepare for Captain Phasma and her stormtroopers during the march of the First Order in Tomorrowland as they search for the Resistance spy. You may encounter travelers across the galaxy like Tusken Raiders and Jawas. Get ready to master a lightsaber. Attend the lightsaber instructional demonstration where you will learn to handle a lightsaber through a series of elite moves sure to bring you out your inner Jedi. Picture yourself in dynamic photos, backdrops featuring some of the galaxy's favorite heroes and villains, and captured by Disney photographers at the party. Yeah, excuse me. A limited number of these Disneyland After Dark tickets will go on pre-sale for the Magic Key holders beginning from February the 21st. So that should be good. It sounds pretty good. Have you ever been to Disneyland when they've done this Disney After Dark?
No, 100% not. I would like to go to at least one. I did have the very brief, not opportunity, but close shave with a evening where loads of people got together with their lightsabers at Galaxy's Edge.
Mhm.
I just missed it. But this is actually really cool, and it's nice when they change the nighttime spectaculars and customize the park to get into Star Wars themed, and it's a great way to pull out some new characters, costumes, etc. But we all have to remember that this is just a way for Disney to merchandise. Merchandise.
Yeah, a lot of merchandise. Talking about merchandise, shall we find out what's happening with Star Wars Celebrations?
100%.
Yeah, because you've been doing some homework with Star Wars Celebrations as usual. You're on top of all the photos, opportunities, and the guests that have been announced.
Yeah.
What is it about?
More guests have been announced. We have had some really interesting guests have been announced since we last spoken. We've had Carl Weathers. Was it Carl Weathers?
Yeah, Carl Weathers. Yeah,
Carl Weathers. We've had a stormtrooper. No clue which stormtrooper, but a stormtrooper. We've also had, and I forgot the third person's name, Brian Herring, who is BB-8, was the latest 3 to be announced. But before that, from the previous week, we had Billy D. Williams getting announced. We had Ewan McGregor. We had Ian McDermott. So there's some really, really cool names coming up. And I have a feeling on speculation alone that hopefully there's going to be some really good panels this year.
Yes. Can I just tell you what those 3 guests, what they're charging for their photographs? So Brian Herring, who is a BB-8 puppet driver, I take it he's the guy who was running around with it on a stick. He's £49.99 for a photo stroke autograph. So I'll take it for 50 quid. You could get his autograph and his photo. Yeah. Carl Weathers is £109.99. So £110 basically for his photo, and £99.99. Let's round it up to £100, shall we, for the sake of a penny, for his autograph. So that will cost you £210 if you want both. Yeah. Now, Samantha Allen, I think it's Allen. She who played a stormtrooper, as you say. Which stormtrooper? I mean, who? She's free. So, and she's limited. She's limited daily. Now, I've always gone to have a look at these, and they're gone. People have booked them, so they will have the longest runs, right? So, But what gets me is she's been announced with Carl Weathers. It's like, that's like me or you being announced that we're there next to Carl Weathers. It's like, okay,
100%. And some of these pricings are really weird, I think. And some of them are really good. But some of them are definitely very out there, as in, I don't get that price, And obviously, this is not me criticizing that. I don't think they're worth it, because everybody sees different heroes and different people they look up to and want to meet at these celebration events. But some of them are like sound artists, and you go, okay, yeah, pretty cool. I like an autograph of a sound artist, but a photo with a sound artist, like, that doesn't make sense to me. that is quite expensive. And same with like you know, a lot of characters. Obviously, there is a few that 100%, you know, hand on heart, you want, you need, you know, and you do everything to get there. I have 2 photos booked so far with Hayden Christensen and um Ashley Eccleston.
Yeah,
But what
yeah.
what I've noticed is they're doing no dual photos this year so far. Like nobody's put like dual packages of 2 photos in one you know, package. So I'm very interested to see if they're going to not do it at all, and that's just a thing of the past. You know, hey, pay more. You know,
Yeah, have a group.
or
Yeah.
later on they will just give the option to upgrade your photos to add another person in, for example.
Wouldn't it be good if they go on.
No, I was gonna say I did say that if Ewan McGregor was going to be there, I'd be very interested in getting a photo with him. And
He's there.
and to,
He's going.
and to be honest, he is going. He is going. But part of me actually feels that I don't. If I was to buy a third photo right now with who's there, sadly, I don't think I'd pick Ewan McGregor now. I think I would pick good old Palps. I'll pick Ian
Would you?
McDermott. I think so.
Yeah, well, if you want Ian McDermott, it's £136 for a photo. Remember, I'm rounding it up by the penny because for some reason, the penny, just so it looks cheaper. That's basically what it is. So the stupid monkey brains will go, oh, that's cheap, right? But no, it's to put a penny in and put it to £136, yeah, for a photo, and £125 for an autograph for Ian McDermott. Now, Ewan McGregor, he's £260 for a photo and £250 for an autograph. And Andy Serkis is £120 and for a photo and £125 for an autograph. You know, out of those 3, I'd love to get Ewan McGregor because I like him a lot. But I think that I could probably get Ewan McGregor's cheaper somewhere else. And as a young guy, there could be plenty of time to get his somewhere else because for the love of sci-fi usually gets really big stars. And I think he'll go around. Now, Ian McDermott is getting on. I hate to say it, but he's getting on. And he's only just, when you think about it, he's only just started to participate in this kind of thing. Because once upon a time, he never had anything to do with it, but he's now getting into it, and he's been at every celebrations for the last 5 years, I think. So his could be a good one. He's been in a lot of films, but
he's 78.
Yeah, he's the main man. So, and Andy Serkis, I think you could probably get Andy Serkis. You know, also, here's the thing: if you really want some of these stars, if you contact their agent, right? And this usually works. If you contact their agent with a self-stamped, envelope back to yourself, yeah, sometimes they have a stack of photos in their offices that are signed that they usually hand out for free. You know, my mum, believe it or not, used to do it quite often, and she actually, this is a really old tale. She sent away to Bing Crosby. Would you believe it? She sent a letter to Bing Crosby in the States, forgot all about it. Then about 3 months later, this massive poster came back to her with his signature. Now, if she still got that, it'll be worth thousands. Gone. It's gone. But what I'm saying is that's an alternative. Get in contact with their agents. Send a self-addressed envelope with there's enough stamps to cover anything. And sometimes, not always, don't blame me if this doesn't work, but sometimes they will send you an autographed photo back free of charge. So that's always maybe a way. Yeah. What do you reckon?
100%. And I think that in this day and age, everything is expensive. You know, I went to the shop today and saw Heinz ketchup has hit £5 for a big bottle.
Oh
You
my
know,
god.
so no, so no wonder. Um,
What times ketchup for a big £5? I think they actually, yeah. The vegan's coming in, have his pants down.
Look for
Did it
Holly.
wasn't though.
For
Yeah.
Holly, who says it's Heinz ketchup or anything, I said to her, "I'm sorry, that's crossed the line. I'm not spending £5 on a bottle of ketchup."
You know what I would do? I would buy a a bottle of cheap, uh, a cheap bottle of ketchup and just tip it into the Heinz one.
For
You go,
sure,
there
for
you go.
sure. But I
Yeah.
think that's just cooperative in the UK. They
Yeah.
being the only shop in the village, they know their market share.
The only shop in the village.
But
Yeah.
it's very much a thing of like, yes, you say, you know, I could go to a different conference, I could get a photo there, and it'd be the same experience, but it's nothing like, you know, it's the reason you go to conference these celebrations is because you want to meet people related to Star Wars, and obviously the people related to Star Wars are going to charge more at the Star Wars
Very
convention,
true. Yeah. Yeah.
just like Epic Photos, who are selling the photos, had the Star Trek one, and they had loads of actors from Star Trek there, and all the Star Trek ones were charging more because they're obviously at a Star Trek convention. So it's all
Yeah.
these things
Yeah.
of that it's a balance of, for me personally, I could say, oh my God, you know, I I I think it's too expensive. I'm gonna go to XYZ conference convention, but actually I'd probably never go to them because I'm not quite interested enough in them. So
Mhm.
for me, I understand I'm paying the premium because it's Star Wars, people at a Star Wars conference,
Mhm.
but I don't know. It's just out my wheelhouse going to other conferences yet.
Mm.
But we don't I don't know how it would be. Technically, going to Star Wars Celebration is actually my first ever conference, if you didn't know. Okay.
Conference. You mean
Convention.
convention? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Now,
Mm.
here's a tip for you as well as conventions. Keep an eye out for certain cosplayers because, believe it or not, some cosplayers are actually the actors from the Star Wars films, just having a bit of a
Mm.
walk round. I last time I went to the Star Wars celebration, I bumped into a guy that had just had normal jacket, but he had a stormtrooper bucket on his head, right? And I went, "Oh, sorry," and he went, "Oh, that's all right," and he walked off, right? Because I've got a habit of stepping back when I'm looking at stuff, and I bumped into him. Anyway, later on stage, they brought this guy walked out on the stage with a bucket on his head, and he took it off, and it was only the lad that played Han Solo in the Solo movie. I was like, "Oh man, could have got his autograph for free."
Mm.
Yeah.
And it is that thing that Hayden Christensen is in Orlando, literally like 2 weeks before at a photo opportunity. And that photo opportunity in Orlando is £152. But at Star Wars Celebration, it's I believe it's I can't remember how much I paid off the top of my head, and I don't want to look now because I feel that
Probably find it. I've just whipped
the
by it
guilt
actually.
209, so £50
209.
more. There you go,
Oh my
£50
god.
more. But it's that thing of hopefully, you know, I'll
Mm.
get an opportunity to get a photo with Hayden Christensen, but there'll be a panel where he'll be on that panel, maybe Ahsoka, you know, maybe we'll see some future things, and you'll be like, it's that to me, it's that coming together as Star Wars fans for Star Wars, you know, people that have
Yeah.
influenced our life that makes it worth it. But yes, they are damn expensive. And in this economy, it's very hard. It's very hard.
Mm.
And I expect there'll be some empty queues, for sure. They'll either be there'll either be everybody that's really busy will be packed and sold
Mm.
out, but then they'll be like, yeah, so I charged 200 quid. Great. How many people I've got? 10? You know, hope that 200 quid
Mm.
was worth it. When if they charged less, they would have probably got more. But it's that
Yeah.
balancing point that how do they know what they can charge and what they can get away with? And that really brings us on to our next bit of information. Was today StarWars.com put out an article about going to Star Wars celebrations, and at the top of the article they announced that Star Wars celebrations was not returning next year.
Really?
So the next Star Wars celebrations will be 2025. So there you go. So they're obviously giving it a gap of why. Of why are they giving it a gap of a year? You know, do they need some time to, I don't know, rig the books?
I'm just
Star
looking
Wars
for it
fans?
now, Chris. I've just gone to StarWars.com. Yeah. News and features. Would I say? Would it be on news?
I saw it. I actually saw it on Twitter. That said 5 reasons to go to Star Wars celebrations for the first time.
Ah, yes. It is on site. It is, yes. Let me share this screen because it's quite good. Share the screen. There we go. So that's that. 5 celebrations. Whoa! We've got to get. We've got 5. We've got a guest. Come on, he's just logged in. So we'll add him to the screen, and we'll just bring him on, shall we? So I just want to welcome Jason W. Chrisman. How you doing, Jason?
Hey.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
What? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, excellent.
Excellent. How you doing, mate?
What's up, guys? I'm doing good.
Yeah, that's good. You've just joined us. We're just talking about Star Wars celebrations and the 5 reasons to go to celebrations for the first time. Chris, my son. Chris, have you met Jason?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah. I can never remember. I'm getting it. And so Chris was just saying, Jason, that Star Wars celebrations is not returning next year. Chris, is that what you said?
Yeah, it says right there with the next Star Wars celebrations
Somebody
not taking place until 2025.
Someone pointed that out to me this morning.
Yeah, just there till 2025. Yeah, so it's missing next year. That
happens from time to time. Like there was no 2018.
Wasn't there? Hold
No.
on. So, but they didn't have one during COVID either, did they?
No. And then the next year when they tried, they canceled it.
Yeah. But that's strange. Why they're taking a break, considering that everyone's raring to go for another celebrations. You know what I mean? Especially after this one, they're just going to go, nah, let's have a break on it.
I think it's weird that they let the goose out of that bag there. Really?
Yeah. Well, they have, yeah. Or are they now thinking because there's not one going to be next year, they're going to get more people to book in for this one?
That could, hopefully that's the case. I see that they've fixed this article since it came out, because it did have the wrong dates for London.
Oh yeah, April the 7th to the 10th. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, it used to say the 9th.
Yeah,
like this morning it said the 9th on it.
It's nice to know they're on board, isn't it? They've got it. They've got their admin team on track, haven't they? Yeah. Well, you know, it's going to be good. Let me just get rid of that screen so we can all bring in. There we go.
So, my first question,
go on.
Jason.
Yeah.
Have you booked any photo opportunities or autographs?
I have not, sadly. Yeah.
Are you going to be?
I don't think so, because in June Washington SummerCon, which is just 2 hours away from me, is going to have Wedge and General Greaves and a few other people who I have not got autographs from yet. So I'm going to just wait. And I get those autographs for free because I do the VIP passes for that show. So
that's even better then, isn't it?
so yeah, I'm going to wait till then to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, best news. Now, Jason, you are coming to Star Wars Celebrations, aren't you?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not just coming as just as a paying guest, though, are you? You're actually coming for a reason.
Probably.
Yeah. What is it?
Well,
well, I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag. You know, I've been quite.
This is live right now, right?
Yes,
so,
yes, it is. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be there in some degree of selling art. Yes.
Yeah. Now there is going to be some. You being a Star Wars artist, there's going to be, of course, again, an artist's alley, and where people can.
It's technically an art show because if it was Artist Alley, there'd be like 300 artists, 1,000 artists there, really, if they could. But yeah, the art show is hand selected by Lucasfilm people. Everyone submits proof of concepts, and then they come in. So and then they only let 24 people in the show every year. So. Being selected to get the show, whether I have or not, I can't say if I have or not have been in this year's show until they announce it. But there are going to be some artists there who I know for a fact are not in the show, but they will be there. They'll have a booth, or Acme Archives, the fine art licensing company.
Yeah,
they have a booth there. That's where the art show usually is. And they bring in artists who are in, like Christian Wagner will be at the show. His famous Reflection series painter. But I know for a fact he did not make it in the art show this year, which is a shame.
Oh, man.
But he will have a new piece at the show. It just won't be an exclusive piece for the show. So.
Right, gotcha. Because it is kind of cutthroat, you could say, because in the past we've been lucky enough to see some artwork that's been presented and hopefully passed, the market. To me, I'm like, wow, that's really good artwork. And then sort of like, nope, didn't make it. You think, well, what would make it? But like last time, when I met you, your prints managed to get through, and I was just looking at your website now for your Star Wars Celebrations 2022 one, which I'll bring up on the stream now, which was your New Hope Death Star. Now, I love this piece because I remember you showing it me when you first done it, and I have to say it was amazing to look at. Let's click to expand, see if I can expand it. Is that about it? That's not much of an expand, is it? Look at that. Right. Right, let's just go back. That's about the same picture as it was before.
I think it's bigger on my site than it is on
I think it is. Yeah. But I love how you've done these kind of things because it tells you the story of what happens in the New Hope in this Death Star. Because you got the meeting, the board meeting, and of course when they're looking at Alderaan, then the Obi-Wan shutting down the tractor beam, the Alderaan blast, and so forth. The fight, and when they come through the door in the control room.
Hits his head on the bulkhead.
Yeah. And you got Han running down the corridor after the stormtroopers, the swing, the trash compactor, the I love how you've done the jail right above the trash compactor. It's fantastic. That must have took you ages to do that. Talk us through that. What was the
man?
How did you think?
I thought about that print for years before putting any work into it. I had a Photoshop file of it with just words of what I was each level I was trying to do. And then I worked on it over the course of 2021 through the whole year. Each level has as much detail as I put into a single print. So you're looking at like 10 prints worth of work right there. And I lost track of actual time on it. I played with it to the very, very end.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite print so far that I've done. Well, maybe, I think the Cantina print might be my favorite one. This is, I don't know. It's a tie for me, really, but yeah.
The Cantina, see if that's on here.
It is. It's down a little bit.
Let's go down the Cantina. There it is. Yeah, I have to say, yeah, this one's really, really good. You show me this one again. I'm lucky enough that you do show me. I love this. I love the lighting that you've done on it, and it tells the story. It tells the story that you want when you look at it. It's one of those prints where one of those pictures that for some reason you hear it. If you know what I mean, you look at it and you can hear it. Because you know everyone's so familiar with the film. You can hear the music playing, you can hear the aliens all chatting, talking to themselves, and then when you put your eyes, you know, over to Han and Greedo, you can hear them arguing. You've got that perfect look, and if you look closely, you can actually see Han shooting first.
Yeah, exactly. And they didn't make me change it, which was fantastic. So
that is a good thing, yeah, because we all know Han shot first. Yeah, you know what I mean,
right.
Yeah.
I thought for sure they were going to make me change that somehow. Yeah.
Well, they have managed to jump in on you a couple of times, haven't they, with that kind of thing. Now on the right side, you've got the bunch of aliens, right? And I look at that and I could just remember one of them goes blah blah, you know, it does this weird like blah, 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 sort of noise when the camera turns to them. I look at that, I can hear it, and of course you got Luke and R2 and C-3PO coming through, and just to the left of them you can see the bartender going, "We don't serve them kinds here." Yeah. Got it in.
Pointing the fingers at them. The little lights on the side of the entrance are lit up, saying, "Hey, no."
Yeah. And of course, you got the little alien looking for its drink. What's its drink being passed down? Absolutely fantastic. And of course, you've got Chewie, you got Han. No, sorry, you got Obi-Wan Kenobi. And if you look closely, guys, you can actually see an arm on the floor. If you look carefully, you can see it. I'm looking like that to be fair, that must have took you ages thinking, how does an arm look on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people think minimalism and silhouettes are easy. Yeah, cakewalk stuff, right? But I mean, let me tell you, some things don't look good as silhouettes. You have to look at it and then decide, is it worth keeping? There was a lot of other creatures I had designed in this print, but I had to take them out because you just couldn't tell what they were as a silhouette. So I had to make sure that each one you could tell who they were in the Cantina. So.
Chris, can you spot IG-88 by any chance?
His first appearance.
His first appearance?
Yeah, his first appearance in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, he's probably
it's right in front of your face.
It's right in
it couldn't
front,
be more. It couldn't be more.
It's literally right in the middle as part of the bar.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's part of the bar.
And I will only say I know that because I've been to Galaxy's Edge, and I'm like, oh, that's there.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, that's where it came from. So they just repurposed it, which is quite good.
Which I think are technically like Mercedes or Rolls Royce convert some kind of car part is what it is.
Oh,
yeah. There's this whole YouTube video on where this part came from, and
I'll have to keep my eye out. I work for Mercedes Benz. I'll have to keep an eye out, see if I can source it from an old vehicle.
well, I think it's from like 50s or 60s vehicles. Yeah,
yeah.
I forget which
Yeah.
part though.
But yeah, that's an absolute fantastic print that is. And of course, going back on yourself, you got the Bounty Hunters one as well. Your Bounty Hunters one was fantastic.
Yep, that
as
was
well.
Celebration Orlando 2017.
Yeah. And of course, now I was lucky enough that you gave me loads of these ones, the Escape of Death, because Celebration 16 is when we last met, when you was back, when you was in London, and you didn't want to take them back, did you? Because you had a big over like printed, didn't you? So many. Of them.
I didn't have any room to take them back, and
do you know what? I've still got.
Yeah, it was.
Still got them. every now and again I do. I put out. Do you want one? There's been a couple of conventions, local ones, and I've given them one to put into their raffles. You know what I mean?
Oh, nice. That's great. Yeah.
But I've still got some. You know what I mean? I might put some in the bag actually. Bring them with me for you to sign. Bring them back.
Yeah, I still give some to charity auctions and things like that. Yeah.
So I have one or two questions in general about Star Wars pieces. So whatever artists get picked, how does a fan get hold of the art? Do you buy them from the stalls, or do you buy them directly?
If we're talking about Star Wars Celebration exclusive prints, you have to either pre-order them and pick them up at the show, or buy it at the show if they're still available. I highly recommend pre-ordering them, because if you're coming Saturday or Sunday, or in this year's case, a Monday, it might not be there. But based on my last experience at Celebration London, I found that not a lot of people buy art in the UK like they do in the US. As you saw, I still had prints left over at the last show. And I don't think it was due to price, because I had it fairly inexpensive. I think it was £45 at the time. And I think 2 artists sold out of the whole show, which is I've never heard of that happening before. Malcolm Tween, who is a fairly well-known UK artist, I knew he was going to sell out before the show even happened.
Really?
Yeah, he's such a good artist. He did the Royal Stamp collection.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah. Do you know, even now, even though those stamps have been long gone, there is some Royal Mail vans still driving around with the Princess Leia stamp on their back door still.
Awesome.
They're so slow at wrapping the vehicles. They keep them on for ages, you know what I mean? But it's nice to see actually. You go, oh yeah, there's one. You know what I mean? And usually if I'm quick enough to get my phone out and take a snap, I will do, but sometimes they're just gone. But yeah, there's some real good artwork on offer. And this year there's going to be some fantastic pieces as well. Be looking forward to having a look around them.
To answer Christopher's question further, if it's not a Celebration exclusive, then you can usually buy it from either the artist website or darkinkart.com, or Acme Archives, which is the same company. Dark Ink Art and Acme Archives are the same company.
Is that when I click onto your print? Oh no, it still takes you onto your website, of course, to the cart.
Yeah.
Well, that's slightly bigger there. Oh.
Yeah, there you go. There's a bigger version right there. Click that guy right there. Click that.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I think you can get a bigger one. Click it. Can you? Yeah.
No.
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 Websites.
Yeah.
I'd be really interested to know Not that a speculation of what people's general themes will be. I feel like we'll probably see a lot more pieces with Ahsoka, Mandalorians raising to light,
Oh yeah.
becoming very popular pieces of the lore. And so I'm really excited to see what art there is around, and probably pick up one or two myself.
You're going to be amazed at some of the prints this year. I'm in love with a lot of them, actually. But yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah. I love this speeder bike one you've done of Endor, Jason. I do like that one a lot.
Thank you. Yeah. The Hoth one, that's, I don't know if it's still on Acme's website or not.
The Hoth one is
that one right there. So that print is very close to something new I have coming out. That's all I can say about that.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
For the time being, I forget. I don't know when they're going to announce stuff. So.
Yeah, that's understandable. Going back onto your website, you've got this one that's on it right at the top, Jabba's Palace.
Yes.
This is amazing one as well. Just like your canteen one, this has got everything on it. Now, did you say there was a wasn't it Princess Leia that was slightly had to be changed?
I had Luke and Slave Leia in the middle of that print. And that was the print I originally submitted for Celebration 2020. And I didn't get in. Yeah. And I was like, wow, I thought for sure this was going to make it in. I didn't even submit a second print because we can submit two. And I was shocked that I didn't get in. I was like, wow, that's really strange. I think COVID happened and the show never really ended up happening anyways. So it was kind of like, hey, I guess it's okay. I didn't get in this year. It didn't make much of a difference. So I gave it to Acme Archives to see if they could get it licensed through the regular channels. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. And it got approved. It got printed by Acme. And the day before it was to be released online, I get an email saying that Lucasfilm pulled the print at the last second and it's not coming out anymore. And I was like, what's happening? And and Acme had already printed everything too. And they said they have to destroy them all. And the only way we can save the print is if we remove Slave Leia from the print. Yeah. And I was like, what is up with that? And I guess, back in 2018 or so, they came out and said that they were not going to do any more action figures of Slave Leia or anything like that, right? No more toys and everything. Well, that's trickled into the art world since then. Yeah. So no more Slave Leia anything, not even a silhouette of her, apparently. And so I hit, my artist integrity got the best of me for a good 9 months. I didn't change it. I didn't want to. I said, it's not going to be what it was. It's just it's going to irk me. So I didn't change it. And then finally I caved and said, I don't have that much integrity. So I'm going to change it. So eventually I did change it. And I put, and Chewie used to be over on the right side near the band up in that archway. And so I moved Chewie. Yeah, he was right over there before, all chained up. Yeah. And I moved him over, took out Luke, and put in Bounty Hunter Bosch or Bosch? Bosch. Bosch.
Bosch, yeah.
Put in Bosch Leia. Made sure that you could see that thermal detonator pretty good. Yeah. And resubmitted it. And then it came out at Celebration last year, but not as a Celebration exclusive. It
Yeah.
just came out as just a second print for me at the show, which was great.
It'd be nice to have that that little logo in the corner there, I suppose. But bear in mind,
Well, all the prints that
Welcome.
don't come, all the prints that are not Celebration related come with certificates of authenticity. So there is a great extra thing that you get with the print.
okay.
Yeah.
But like I was saying as well, Jason, that by just taking out Luke and Slave Leia, this pushed the story back 10 minutes. If you in the aspect of the film timeline. So by just putting, because of course, Luke and Leia takes place after this scene. If you know what I mean. If you
Right. Before it was more like
Yeah.
the Cantina piece where you
Yeah.
get a little bit of everything throughout Jabba's palace, where now it's more of a single scene because this was before Han Solo came out of carbon freezing.
Of course, yeah.
Where with Slave Leia in the middle, you wouldn't see Han Solo frozen over there in the corner
you're right,
because.
yeah.
But so before, I mean, originally it was more like the Cantina, whereas a little bit of all the scenes from the Cantina and from Jabba's palace. But now it's more like a real one-time shot scene.
Yeah.
But it went over really well. I managed to hold on to 5 of these specifically for London Celebration. So I will have 5 of these at the show.
Oh, amazing. It's really good. Do you know that looks like the Death Star behind? I don't know if you've done that, if you did that on purpose or anything, but it really does look like the Death Star. But it's kind of weird because that looks like a slight palm tree. And I look at it and I think, that's Rogue One. I'm sure there's a Rogue One picture with the Death Star with like a palm tree. But I'm trying to. What is it? It's. I know it's part of the scenery, isn't it? It's like a bit of the decoration.
Well, if you look at Jabba's palace inside, see if I can find Jabba's throne. Of course, you type that in nowadays, and you get a lot of Boba Fett stuff. So I think it's something that was cooking on that spigot. I don't know.
Of course, because that's like he had food being cooked on it, wasn't it? On the spit. Yeah.
So I'm looking at it. No, I think it is some kind of fan type of thing. It's just resting there.
Yeah.
Nothing's on the spigot.
Yeah. Still good though. Still a damn fine piece. I love it. I love how you've done the colors in it, and you can even see the frog. The little frog in the bowl as well, and you know that he's being whispered to as well by Bib Fortuna. It's like blah blah blah, and you got R2 on the left, and of course he's witnessing a droid being
tortured.
Yeah. But actually, that I can't remember what the droid's name. I have got it as an action figure, but in the Book of Boba, he's voiced by what's his name from the Toast of London? It speaks like that, and he was in. Oh God, what's his name?
I'm not sure, but I was really happy to see him in the Book of Boba. I mean, he went from a torture droid to like almost a protocol droid.
Yes, yes, he did. Yeah,
and or some kind of ambassador, right? They gave him a job other than torturing droids.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, they did. Yeah, fantastic, Jason. I can't wait for to see all what you've got on offer. Oh, I want to say, when you're down there, when you're going to be there, maybe if you're going to be there. But
there will be new prints there, whether they are exclusives or not, I can't say. But I will be there, and there will be a new print there, and I will have I'm not trying to speak ill will of Lucasfilms and Acme Archives, but they do seem to manage to find a way every year to take one more thing away from artists. Every year. There's always, man. Like last year, they don't allow any artists to do commissioned work anymore at the show. Like if you wanted to
Oh,
come up
do
and say,
they?
"Hey, can you draw me?" Yeah, you can't do it anymore, and that's that's a lot of income for us
Yeah,
artists at the
yeah.
show, was doing commissioned pieces at the show. Can't do that anymore.
I went to a convention and I got this guy that draws Rick and Morty, and
Mhm.
and for I think it cost me like 20 quid. He did a sketch of Rick in a Ghostbusters outfit for me. He just done it and he goes, there you go, and he signed it. Which I've got somewhere up there somewhere. But and he was doing loads of them. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're right. It is
Yeah.
a little bit of an income, especially if it's
Yeah, we
super
couldn't.
quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we can't do those anymore. And we've always been able to, if we didn't sell out of our exclusive print at the show, we've been able to pay the royalties on those prints as if they were sold and allow us to sell them at a later date. Some of us do Comic-Cons, or some of us have, like if it's in London, I have fans here who can't make it to London, but they want the print, and they took that away from us. So if we don't sell out at the show, we are ordered to destroy all remaining prints from this point forward.
Oh my God.
So if I don't sell out at the show, or let's say I only end up selling half the prints, I'll probably go into debt to just coming to the show because of that. And
That's
I know that there are some artists, there's at least a handful of artists every year who don't end up selling very many prints. Just because Lucasfilm picked them out of hundreds of artists to do that print at the show does not mean that that's what people want. And this particular print is the only print us artists are ever allowed to print ourselves. Usually, if all other prints that we do through Acme and Lucasfilms are printed by them and then distributed by them, and then we get like a tiny royalty on it, and we get 10 artist proofs that we can sell for however much we want to.
Yeah.
At this show, we have to pay for printing. We have to get there ourselves, pay for the table that we've been offered, and somehow try to make our money back. But they've just been taking and taking and taking from how we can do that. And I know that there were artists last year who got accepted into the show but didn't do the show because of all these extra things that they've been taking from us. So if you come to the show, I beg you guys to go to the art show and buy something from somebody, because we are struggling at these things to be there, just to be there. The last London show I did, I thought I was coming out way ahead, even though I only sold half the prints. I ended up breaking even because what I didn't know, I know this year. So this year I'm planning for this, but I didn't know at the show that there was this 20% VAT tax I was going to have to pay on everything sold. That was my profit margin, basically. And I didn't know this. And so all this profit I thought I was going to have on the thing didn't show up on my check. And I was like, what happened? And they're like, oh, well, there's a 20% VAT tax. I was like, well, that would have been good to know ahead of time before we price these things out. So I broke even at the last show because of that. So
well, me and Chris were discussing about like autographs, the price of autographs right now, and autographs.
I haven't even looked.
A lot of money, Chris.
What? Give me an idea. What are you guys looking at?
Go on, Chris.
So I don't go to many conventions. I will admit that. And I paid for not autographs but photos, and I paid for 2 photos, Hayden Christensen and Ashley Eccleston, and it came to about £450. I think off the top of my head. And I'm like, yes, that is super expensive, super expensive. But if I never go to a convention again, at least I've got something. And this is really big question that I bring up to myself about like art and things we want to buy at these conventions. For
Mhm.
example, you know, what do you want to walk away with, if anything? Do you want to walk away with a memory of being shuffled through, see a person for 2 seconds, have a photo, and then kicked out? Do you want to have a moment when you get to a table and they'll say $10 per extra word? You know,
Oh my God, yeah, yeah.
we're
there is
we're
that.
getting to this very hard point
I've
of
got Carl Weathers. You showed Carl Weathers there. So
Yeah.
I got his
balancing point.
in my autographed Star Wars book that I have at that Washington SummerCon. That same.
Was he walking
place.
through and he went, "Hey, can you
No,
sign this?"
no.
Oh.
I actually waited in line and paid for that one. But it was like $30 I paid, I think, for it.
There you go. Yeah. We've been saying this, haven't we, Chris? That said, some of these people, it's nice because you've got all these guys all in one place, so you can see where they all are. But most of these people will be at other conventions around the world, wherever you are, because it's extra money for them. It is an extra bit of income when they're not earning anything, when they're not making anything, and you can get them for quite cheap. Really, it's official picks that have just put the price way up. And like Chris was saying to me, it's 40. Is it £40, Chris, to have 4 words? Is it £40?
I think.
Was it
so
£40 per
this is
word?
another thing that each actor is having different pricing for autographs with different variables. I think Ashley and Eccleston is charging, I think, like $30 for 6 words. May the force be with you. Maybe it's the 6 words.
Ashley
no choice.
Eckstein?
Ashley Eckstein, yes.
Yes.
But then I heard Carl Weathers won't accept. He won't sign toys or objects. He'll only sign the photos that come with. So it's really mixed opinion of what I'm hearing on like Facebook pages of people saying like, can I get them to sign a Funko Pop? Some may sign them, some may not. So it's very, very interesting. Obviously,
I got Ian McDermott. He was at SummerCon last year here out here in the West Coast, and I did a print for the VIP for that show. It's right above me here. Oh, look at that!
Oh, let me just
right above me there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of Ian McDermott. Yes.
Well, that's
He's
ace.
Emperor.
Do you do that?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that okay?
So
is that on your website? Or is that just an exclusive one-off?
No, it's never been licensed print. I just did it as a VIP extra for people to sign at that particular show.
Can you sign this, please?
Where'd you get that from? Kaden and I brought our droid R2K2 to the show as well, and they built a throne room for photo ops with him. So Kaden and I got our picture with him and our R2 unit together, all in the throne room together with him. It was fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Pretty awesome.
Of course, you'll be bringing Caden to Star Wars Celebrations as well. It's going to be his first one. Is his first?
He went to. No, he did go to 2019 Chicago. He came for a day at that one. We had
Kanan's your son, not the droid.
Yes.
Good point there, Chris. Good point there. Sorry about
that.
The
droid is named after my son Caden because his name, the droid's name is R2K2, and Caden helped me build this R2 unit. It took us 3 years, and both my kids are named with K, start with the letter K. So that's why I gave him the name R2K2, was for both my kids.
Ah, gotcha.
But so just this past weekend, we went to Portland PDX Fan Expo. I didn't do a booth at this show because it's never really that great of a show, but they get a lot of good celebrities there. So Kate and I went as attendees this year, and we brought R2 with us, and we have a very large Ghostbuster group up here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
similar to the one that you're in the UK. And
And you know,
so
I'm
we
probably
hung out with
friends with
them for a little
them.
bit. Probably,
I'm
yeah.
probably
We hung
friends
out
with
with
them,
them
yeah.
for a little bit and checked out the car and all their stuff, and then we fitted R2 with that that droid or with that proton pack on the back that you saw there. So
I'm amazed. I'm just amazed that you managed to, you got it on it. It's like amazing.
Well, we didn't really. It was more for show. It was,
Well,
just
that
for show.
took it off. Yeah. That would there we go. Let's click back onto that one. Yeah. It was I've actually seen a droid that's been colored to Ecto 1 with the red and the white with a proton pack on its
Oh,
back.
that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And that's the new HasLab one, which I've got just here. Yeah, it's just here on my side here. Yeah. When I remove that, you can probably just see it. Yeah, it's just there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
I
Big
went to that show specifically to get Nathan Fillion's autograph.
Oh, did you manage to get it?
No, he didn't show.
Oh, do you know I have a similar
on.
story like that. I had a friend of mine had commissioned a Stark David Warner little print about this big because he was going to be at a convention locally, and I was thinking, so I booked it. It was only 20 quid for his autograph. But yeah, I'll pay you that. And then he, I think COVID hit. And so he says, no, I can't attend it because he's getting elderly. I was like, okay. But he says, I will be attending the next one as soon as it comes free. I thought, brilliant. I keep it. Got it on the side here. Okay. And then, of course, he dropped dead. So, unfortunately, it's dropped dead. He passed away, sadly. And I was like, God damn it.
I keep hoping I'm somehow going to get Harrison Ford's autograph because he's like one of 3 missing from my book of the original cast. And there was a chance for me to do it. I forget one of these autograph companies, I forget which one, was doing a signing with Harrison Ford's where you could send in your stuff and he would sign it, but it was like $500.
Oh my!
I was like, you got to be out of your mind. I'm not paying $500 for that autograph. I'd rather fake it than pay $500.
Fake it. Funny enough, there is. I think is it the last batch of autograph guests are going to be announced on the 27th of February?
Maybe. I've not been keeping 100% up with the release dates. They've just been coming out very randomly to me. But it's interesting you say about Prince because they did release a signed limited edition
I saw that
2023 with Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor.
Right. And who did it? Who's the artist?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Have you got the link?
No, exactly. They do. They show you this beautiful exclusive print that's not part of the art show, and they snub the artist.
Oh man,
it's fantastic.
Chris, have you got the link for that?
I've just put it in the in the chat. This one actually on official pics, it does actually have a logo in the bottom left corner of the artist, I think. But actually trying to get a photo of that is
Right,
of who it might be. But what's really interesting about this is that they've done and this is quite interesting. So it's 150 pieces, both signed by Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, but only 75 of them are in person and 75 of them are for delivery. So they're already fishing these autographs out to people who won't even be at the convention.
Yeah. Damn. This large limited edition 13 by 19 inch photograph will be hand signed. It will also include our shield sticker on the front and the new authentication QR code sticker on the back. I've never even heard of that kind of thing.
It's
if we can
probably
zoom in.
going to be a QR code that when you check it, it will probably have a photo of them signing it, probably, or something on them lines saying that it's authenticated. This is actually really an interesting one, for sure. But
It's a
it's
beautiful
that thing
piece.
of
Yeah. Does it look familiar to you?
Not at all.
And
I mean, it could be so. It could be. There's so many realistic artists that I know who could have done it. I'm not sure who did it. Could be Jason Palmer or
yeah, it's just too
I don't
small.
know. Just don't know.
Yeah. Chris, you were saying.
is that we really have to see what happens we really have to see what happens with all this art, and I'll be interested to see how we can help out artists like yourself, if we can go buy pieces at the table and think, oh, I'm actually going to get the artist sign that instead of getting a small rectangle photo from the Clone Wars with their signature on.
Yeah, lots of people have bought my prints at the show, gotten autographs, and brought it back to show me, and I that's fantastic. I've taken a lot of photos of people doing that. It's awesome.
Mm.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see you at the show, no matter what you'll be doing, and I'm sure you'll give great insight to anyone about art in Star Wars. So if they see you, they should definitely say hi and give you a nice have a nice chat about Star Wars art.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And if you see me or Chris and you want pointing the direction, we will be gladly to say he's over there. He's over there now. And he's down there right now. I know Christopher's brother Nicholas is so looking forward to spending some time with your son as well, because they're forever chatting online. And
They've
no
been
doubt-
friends online for years. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've never
and no
met.
Your son's probably heard me shouting him, going, "Get offline! Get to bed!" Because of the time difference. He's probably going to
Yeah,
say,
we're like what,
shouting.
7-8 hour time difference here. So it's
Yeah, it is.
yeah, it's fantastic.
So I don't know if you want to carry on with this, because we were just going to quickly dive into the Bad Batch as well for the episodes that we missed. It's up to you, Jason.
I'm still catching up. Actually, I haven't watched the last 2 or 3 episodes.
Well, you'll probably want to stay out of this one then.
Yeah,
I could say the 2 episodes we're going to be going into are
The last
the last
two.
2.
Yeah.
Which is the Clone Conspiracy and the Truth and Consequences.
I haven't seen
you?
those 2 yet.
Ooh,
Normally,
perhaps you-
I'm up to date the morning it's out, but
yeah.
Kaden and I decide we watch it every Wednesday morning when it comes out.
Mhm.
But this past few weeks, we've decided to hold off so we can binge a few episodes all at once, and so we decided to do that. But
Yeah. I must admit, that, the animation and the stories are really good, and it's only when me and Chris actually, do a bit of a deep dive into it that, and to be fair, there's an awful lot of YouTube videos that do Easter eggs, and they really go into the laws and that, and then I watch them, and then I come back online here and we talk about it. And it's like, did you see the one where it was very much like an Indiana Jones episode where the Bad Batch were going looking after this eye of the mountain or whatever it was called?
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, somebody online on a video said that big creature monster thing that they released was a part of the Zepho people from the last not the Last Jedi, sorry, the Jedi Fallen Order. Do you know those
the video game? Yeah.
The Zepho, it's the head of it is very much, and the particle beam that's shot out is very much, and I was like, at the time didn't make the connection. It's then once he said it, I was like, God, why didn't I not spot that?
Right.
And there was also references in it. You probably noticed them, that the actual eye, the key thing that they got was very much one of the Fifth Elements.
I noticed
what I mean?
that too. I was like Fifth Element all over these things. Yeah.
Straight away. Yeah, Fifth Element. Yeah, I was like, I wonder if they got any more. Is there 3 more?
I
At
was
the end of
wondering
the
if a
book?
giant black ball of death was coming to the planet. You know,
You just imagine that would have been great. That would have been that would have been sweet.
that would have been a
would've
good crossover.
Oh yeah. But and the droid. We also said about that lady's droid. I said that's a minion, isn't it? A minion droid.
Yeah.
It had the colors of a minion. It's like, but nobody. I didn't hear that from any other people on the internet, and it was just something that I watched. I was like, that look, the way it's walking, trying to run off, and went, there's a bloody minion. You know, they got the color.
Right.
You can even see that in my missus. She went, yeah, that's a minion, all right. Yeah,
There's
I can't
only
wait
so
for.
many more. There's only so many more shapes we can do before it starts looking like something else that we already know. So
That's
you
right.
know.
That's right. Yeah, but they're good. I'm glad that Disney have decided to go back and do these kind of episodes that, you know, keep with the style of animation, because I love this part of the world that Dave Filoni created.
And case in point, with the droid thing, look at Obi-Wan Kenobi's Leia's little flying droid.
Batteries not included.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. You know.
Yeah, I was looking. I was like, that's what battery. But the way his ears come up, it's like, oh, it's Mickey. It's Mickey Mouse as well. It's like a droid version of Mickey Mouse. Trying to get in. Did you ever, talking about that, Jason? Because it's great to get you on this. We can chat about it. Did you see the Obi-Wan Kenobi series?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Did you happen to see the re-edited version of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Sort of makes a little bit more sense, really, doesn't it? You know what I mean? It's like, how does that little girl manage to outrun those guys? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
What's happening
You
here?
mean the guys that run like with their legs all out? Yeah,
Whack into oh man, there was some. You know, it's one of those. You know, it's when they said, "Oh yeah, we're bringing Obi-Wan Kenobi," I was like, "Oh, brilliant!" But what they did, it's like, oh man. It's just not good. It's just not good.
There's some good, you know, same thing with everything there is Star Wars. There's some great stuff about every episode or movie or TV show, and there's some real crap mixed in with it. And
yeah.
But
it's kind of
even
strange
with
that
Mando.
Yeah. But it was me and Chris had this discussion. It was like they go down the route with this de-aging. Yet they had Aiden Christian on playing Padawan Anakin with no de-aging. Now, Ewan McGregor, he looks the same. You know what I mean? But Aiden Christian, clearly you can see it's 30 years later. I'm like, that looks a bit strange on that one. You know what I mean, why didn't they just think
I mean, Ewan McGregor and Paul Rudd are from made from the same genome.
Yeah.
You know, they just don't age, really.
Yeah. I could just imagine that phone call. It was like, yeah, could you de-age Anakin Skywalker for that? And the guy's gone, oh, was that? Did you want that doing right now? He goes, yeah. I asked you last month. Did you do it? Yeah. I did do it. Yeah, no one knows the difference. Great, ship it out.
Just put a soft filter on it. No one will know.
Bit of Vaseline over it, be fine.
Yeah.
But it was all right. You know, like you say, there were some fantastic scenes. You know, that end battle with Vader as well as Obi-Wan. It was great. Chris, you enjoyed it as well, didn't you?
I think I enjoyed 2 hours of the 9-hour spectacular, but them 2 hours were amazing.
Those were a great 2 hours, weren't they?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, did you finish Andor, Chris?
No. To be fair, you know, I got up to the point of Andor where they escaped the prison with the money, and someone got squished, and I went, "Yeah, I've had enough of this for tonight. I'll come back to it," and I never got back to it.
Yeah, I was watching it, and then Nicholas was watching it with me, and he turned to me and he goes, "What's happening?" And I went, "I ain't got a clue." I just haven't got a clue with this. It's one of the longest stories. But my mind was like, is this the best writing I've ever seen, or is it just the longest show? Because
I loved it.
something good about it.
I just loved all of it. It's a Star Wars show that you don't have to know anything really about Star Wars to enjoy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could watch it from the beginning, and it's your typical, people being oppressed story. You know what I mean? And I just, but with a Star Wars twist and universe surrounding it. So I know lots of people who aren't really that much in the Star Wars who loved Andor. Loved it.
I felt like I was watching Schindler's List in space.
That's okay.
Yeah, but saying that, I did it. I'm mixed with it because I did enjoy it, and some of me didn't enjoy it. But it's one of those shows that I do think about a lot. Out of it all, the Rissim key. That key scene with Skarsgård is about what he's lost. You know what I mean? When that guy goes, "Yeah, I want out." You know what I mean? And he says, "What you've lost, I'll tell you what I've lost." And that whole speech, I thought that was really good writing. You know what I mean? Really good writing. But
guys, I gotta go.
Oh, okay.
But I gotta take my kid to the dentist. I was there an hour ago. Now it's his turn. So.
Oh my God! Yeah. So you'll be separated from about $1,000 then.
Yeah. But, well, no, my wife works for a dental practice, so it's all free technically. But when they have an opening and they can fit us in, we have to go take it because it could be months before that happens again. So.
Oh my God. Well, okay then, Jason.
All right. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic to have you back on the show. You know what I mean? Like we said, always come on. And I do keep sending you email, but it's like when you've got time, to be fair. You're a busy guy as well as we're, and the time difference as well doesn't work properly. But it's been fantastic to have you on the show, and I can't wait to see you. And
good to talk to you guys.
Next month.
I will see you soon. I will physically see you soon.
Bye.
All right.
Great.
Nice.
See you soon.
We'll hang out, get a beer. All right. You take care. See you later.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Bye.
Bye. So that was Jason. Fantastic for it to come on. Absolutely.
Yeah, super excited to see the artists at the show. No matter who is presenting, I'm sure there'll be a piece of art for everyone official with the Star Wars Celebrations icon in the corner, or with their own pieces at their tables. And it's a really big call, as Jason said, really do support the artists if you can. I mean, if you can afford to buy a piece of art and get that signed instead of getting a picture, it really does go a long way. And yeah, we're super excited for Star Wars Celebrations, and we can't wait to see everyone that's there and everything, especially you, that you can buy there.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to. It's so good. And meeting Jason again, face to face, it's great to meet up with some old friends. And like we say, Christopher's brother Nicholas, been friends with his son for years, and they've just never met because of the distance. Hopefully, be able to palm him off. Have a holiday in the States, Chris. So that's you. I mean, Nicholas. Get my kids always mixed up. Right then, Chris, should we head over to the Bad Batch now? Time's getting on. We're nearly up to 2 hours. So what we'll do is, because I've got work in the morning, and no doubt Chris is, we're going to scoot real fast over these 2 episodes of the Bad Batch. And what we'll do is we'll combine them as one, Chris, because they are really one story, weren't they? We're not going to go to the third episode, should we say, called The Crossing, because that is quite obviously a 2-part episode as well. So that should be tomorrow, if I'm rightly, when that comes online, as we're recording this. So we're going to nip into the Bad Batch report. Okay. So,
I
go
I
on.
really hate that we're doing this so fast because these are two really great episodes of The Bad Batch.
Oh, right. Yeah, they are. Yeah. Well, what do you want to do then, Chris? Because to be fair, I'd like to go over them because they are really good. It really just do a turn. Let's just see how we go. Yeah. It's 11:15 now. I need to be up. Right. I don't
Very
know.
early.
Yeah.
I think that the best thing we could do is sorry, just losing my breath. The best thing we could do is cover them is in the highest details. You know, we normally really do a run through of the whole episodes of what happened scene by scene and our thoughts on that. But I think it'll be best because these episodes are really good and they do a lot. Is you know, give the important context pieces and really just talk them over. So in episode 1, the biggest pieces of this story was do you want to say what the biggest piece of the story was?
No, go on, Chris. Go on.
I don't know the names off the top of my head, so I was just going to say the synopsis off the top of my head of what happens in the episode. But if you have the synopsis on you,
I have got it here. The clone conspiracy. Right. In the Imperial Senate, Rampart pushes for the passing of the bill to authorize the military recruitment of Imperial citizens, meaning that the clones will be officially discarded. Senator Ryo Chichi, who defends the clones' fundamental rights, is approached by a clone trooper, Skip. Is it Skip? I can't think of it. Yeah, whose friend Cade was murdered on Rampart's orders when he defied the official version of Kimono's destruction by a storm disaster. Kinchi begins to investigate Rampart's conspiracy, alerting the admiral, who sends an assassin after Skip, just as is it Chichi tries to convince Skip to testify. The assassin kills him before Chichi can suffer the same fate. She is rescued by Rex, who I think that's Slip. I think I've been reading it right. Slip. I went Skip, so it's Slip. Sorry, but sorry, I've been saying Skip. It's SLIP. It's my glasses, and I thought the screen is away. Just as so Slip. So who's Slip summons for help? Rex and Chichi prepares to question the assassin, a clone, but he has killed himself before Rex can acquire the information from him. Great. This is a really good episode. And it's all about, as I've said in the synopsis, about the way the clones are being treated now by the Empire. Because Rampart, if you remember in the previous episodes, Rampart does not like the clones at all. He treats them as second-class citizens. Well, not even citizens. He calls them by their numbers all the time, doesn't he, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's not bothered about that they got names. Because it's like when he orders Crosshairs into his office, it's never Crosshairs report to Admiral Rampart. It's always 25945 or whatever his number is, get to the office. So and basically, remember, Rampart did he have the orders? Didn't he have orders from top brass to destroy Kamino?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's, like you say, a good soldier follows orders. He follows this order, and he's basically done it. But of course, to the Senate, it was destroyed in a massive storm disaster. But we all know, and from what Slip is saying, I can't think what because he's got a friend, hasn't he? He's got a friend that gets murdered right in front of him when he tells him. And I think his name was something like Skip or something like that. I can't think what his name was. It doesn't say there. But, you know, Camino is built to withstand amazing storms. You know, the most violent storms you could think of. Camino was built to withstand them. So there's no way a violent storm would have destroyed, made them. And also what are the species that live on Camino? Are they the Caminos or
Caminoans. So
the Camonans?
yeah, this Caminoans. This is a really interesting thing because they speak about that Topoka City was built to withstand storms, hurricane storms, but also to be completely submerged under water. And not only did Topoka City get lost at Camino, was every other city on the planet was also destroyed by these freak storms, meaning that the Caminoans left in the universe are very limited people, and they got stripped of all, they got stripped of all seats in the Senate and such.
Yeah.
With that,
yeah, they are now just like in the future, the people of Alderaan are like orphans. They've got no plans for themselves, and basically the Camonans, they are clones themselves, aren't they? They form. They clone themselves, and unfortunately, no cloning anymore. So that species will eventually die out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but of course, the Empire doesn't want this information to get out at all. And luckily enough, there is a very young senator. This Rayo. She wants to make sure that the clones have rights because they are human beings. They make decisions. They have got names. They've all got their own characteristics, and they should be given money, like retirement fund, medical funds. They should be treated as humans. Because remember, in that episode of Obi-Wan that we were discussing, you saw one of the clone troopers begging for money. You know what I mean? And you think, what have you been reduced to? You know what I mean? Out of all the clones, what have they been reduced to? And for us, our point of view is always on Rex and on the Bad Batch that were doing quite well for themselves, but the rest of them, no, they didn't. They didn't. And I reckon at some point they will be hunted themselves, and and slowly got rid of. But interesting, because the assassin, of course, is a clone, is a clone himself, willing to do the job, as in a good soldier follows orders, and which he was doing. So yeah, it was a really good episode. Chris, what do you want to say about it?
So yeah, I thought this was a really, really interesting episode because it first made you believe that Crosshair was actually eliminating clones himself.
Yeah.
But actually, what was happening here was that there was another clone that obviously had his inhibitor chip either enhanced or removed to believe, and he still believed in the Empire and what they were doing. I think what's really interesting here is talking about, a clone, without getting too gory and deep for a kids TV show that does handle slavery, child slavery. They do cover things like, what has that clone had replaced? How much of his body is now robotic? How much of it is actually still a clone? We know clones age pretty fast, and some clones may not want to age and may want to carry on in the Empire, furthering the need of the Emperor. So we could see that, this is an early version of things like the Dark Trooper that we see in Mandalorian season 2. And when Pershing says that, they finally worked out what they needed to remove, and that was the person. So the early versions of the Dark Troopers were people, Were they clones? Were they conscripts? Were they prisoners? Many of these things obviously may be answered, but are very dark things to answer. And I think it's really, really interesting that the assassin that was assassinating his brothers did know who Captain Rex was. and did know that he believed he was on the right side, and that the clones, no matter what they were trying to prove with the destruction of Topoka City, was for the better, and the future of the empire. And this episode was really quite a good one, for sure. We got a lot of callbacks to Clone War days of Coruscant, the clone bar where they would all hang out, multiple clones, hanging out. We saw that bar in the episodes where Fives and his inhibitor chip was going a bit crazy, and he got murdered, even though Rex tried to intervene. So there's a lot of really, really good callbacks to this episode, and obviously the senator that was standing up for clones' rights was a senator. Was a daughter of a senator in a previous episode of the Clone Wars, where Anakin and Ahsoka were sent to the planet to help stabilize it.
Right. Yeah.
So it all really is a really, really good tie back, and obviously you have Senator. Senator, I forgot his name now. Senator of Alderaan. What's his name?
Oh man, why did we not know that?
Oh my god, what's the senator of? It's Bail Organa.
Bail Organa. God,
yes.
It's like about brain fart.
Yeah, Bail Organa obviously helping and doing what's right in the background. So really, really good episode. Really deep and dark, and we were questioning, why is all this happening? Why is the Stormtrooper Act not been enacted yet? All of this is in halt. Admiral Rampart is obviously trying to push it through, and we get to a really distinct point where obviously the senator is in trouble. Rex helps her out and helps the clone try to get the information that they need to prove that Topoka City was actually destroyed by Admiral Rampart. And the episode ends with Rex now knowing the critical information that there is a copy in the observation deck of Admiral Rampart's Vanguard of the destruction of Topoka City, and he knew that he didn't want to destroy Topoka City, and so he made a copy. And the Bad Batch would be called to infiltrate the Vanguard destroyer and collect that copy and give it back to the senators.
Yeah.
And that obviously leads on to the next episode. But what was your big thoughts on this episode?
I liked the fact that we got more into the clones themselves with their struggling to come to terms to being civilians, if you know what I mean, and being treated low, being like low citizens. Very much, now if you look at the way the politics of the real world are working with how some people see immigrants now, if you know what I mean, treating them as scum. Really, they've done their job. You could say very much like military, like our veterans from Vietnam, the war, all the wars, that they go and do their duty, and when they come back, nobody wants anything to do with them. You know what I mean? So you see a lot of them then go into drugs, to suicide, depression, gambling, anything to spark that back into them, because nobody wanted to do, to do anything with them. And of course, there's some of them would have even post PT.
PTSD, post-trauma,
PTSD. That's right.
Stress disorder.
You'll have them. You everything you can think about the way that military people are treated now. That's what's happening with them. But of course, they're even worse because they're clones, so that they're not, they're treated as not real humans. They're disposable, like droids. They were. Oh, well, chuck 1,000 at them because we could create another 1,000. Yeah, and that's the problem with it. So I do like that story element, and because for years and years we've always wondered, what exactly happened to the clones. You know what I mean? From having hundreds of thousands of clones to none, and then you got the stormtroopers. What's that gap? What happened there to clear them out? Because at the end of the day, the Empire made them turn on their Jedi friends, because they were the friends. And then all of a sudden, once they'd done that, then of course the Empire turned on them. It's not a good thing. And Slip was just 5 minutes away from getting away, alive. But unfortunately, he got shot and was assassinated. And they were, and to be fair, this Rampart ordered the senator as well to be murdered as well, and a couple of her guards got murdered. You know what I mean? So that was all going to roll out as well. So yeah, I loved it, and I can understand why they whacked it as 2 episodes, sort of back to back, because that's how I watched it, back to back. They could quite easily have just joined them together and make it as like a 1 hour special. You know what I mean? And very much like the next episode, but one, the crossing that's for next week that we're going to be covering the next 2 episodes. We're going into these 2 episode specials. But let's lead now, Chris. Is that everything you wanted to speak about, the clone conspiracy?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the episode. Very dark Star Wars for a kids TV show.
Yeah, it was.
Suicide, murder, political
intrigue,
and
all backstabbing. Everything that you find in real life. Right, so let's move on to the next episode, which was Truth and Consequences. Chris, you take over. You did such a good job of the last one. You do this one.
Yeah, so this was a really easy episode to explain as well. Obviously, names and everything, maybe not correct, but basically, Rex calls the Bad Batch whilst they're going through hyperspace, and says that he has a job, and obviously, the Bad Batch still respect Rex as their captain and will do whatever job they want him to do. And they have to fly to Coruscant, use a secret entrance to go under the Imperial radar, and they meet up with Rex to find out that their job is now to infiltrate Admiral Rampart's destroyer in a dry dock whilst it's being upgraded for the Imperial fleet. So this is where this episode becomes an infiltration into how they get from outside the Imperial docks to inside the actual inside the Ventador to get the docks. And obviously, as soon as they get the document showing that Tipoca City was destroyed by this starship, the alarms go off, and they have to work out a solution out of this problem. And what they do, well, they start the engines of this Ventador Star cruiser, and they slide it forward and then make an escape out of a escape pod and make their way out. And this is where the real pivotal moment of the episode comes in, and they've got this document, proof that Tipoca City was destroyed by Admiral Rampart, and they take it to Senator. They take it to the senator, who
Organa, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, who then stands in front of the Senate and explains to the Senate and shows proof that Admiral Rampart did in fact destroy to Poker City, and he was moving funds away from the cloning beforehand, and this was planned. This is the moment that really shows the Empire and what they stand for, and the pawns that every person plays in this. And this is where we've been finding out that the Emperor has been keeping a close eye on this act through his assistant, I can't remember his name of, and it was all a setup to override all decisions made by the Senate and make the stormtroopers come true and the act happen no matter what the vote would say. So the clones, it ended up that the clones played themselves and ensured their destruction, because at the end of the day, they had a Sith Lord that was watching every step.
Yeah. That's this is what I liked about this. Basically, through this episode, you kept hearing them saying, "What does Emperor Palpatine say?" You know what I mean? And he was never coming up, was he? He was sort of like, he's not bothering with what's happening in the Senate nowadays. He always sent up his guy with the big tentacles to sort it out. It wasn't, all these petty squabbles that was going in the Senate. He weren't interested in it because he's got the bigger plan. He's doing the long game sort of thing, which I liked. And Rampart was warned by Palpatine's right hand man down there to get his ship in order, sort of thing. Make sure that he's covered he's checked all the boxes, covered all the exits. He's make sure he's clean. And he says, and he was overconfident about it. And he was like, yeah, I'll sort this out. But you could tell that in this stage they were going, we need a fool guy. Oh, it's you. You know what I mean? But what I liked about it was the whole plan that Rex got in contact with the Bad Batch. The plan of getting on the ship looked fantastic. Use of the hologram systems again, getting in. It's great to see them. Vanguard. I'm sure it's the Vanguard, isn't it? Ship where they got on board, being one. And of course, they would know the ins and out because they served on them ships. They are the old clone ships, so they would know how to get onto them and source them out. But they knew that once they got that record out, the alarm will go off, and then they've got zero amounts of minutes to get out. But Bad Batch being the Bad Batch, they knew how to get out of a situation, which was great. We've seen it done before. Launch all. You've seen it in Star Trek as well. Launch all the escape pods, and they're in one of them. You know what I mean? But to see that ship power up its engines and sliding across in the dry dock, and everyone's like, mayhem. It was great. I loved it. Really did love it. And it was great to see how Omega with Chechi, were walking around the Senate. I like the look of it. Do you know what I'd like to have seen in the Senate? E.T. I'd love to see E.T. in the Senate because they had him in the original films. Let's have him back for a couple of scenes, just sitting there. I mean, just put him there in the Senate. It would be great. But I do like the Senate scenes. The way they discuss stuff, and what can I say? I've got a clip here of that I've just got on YouTube, Chris, and it's the part where the information gets presented from Rampart's ship. Yeah, so I'll just add this. Here we go. So this is interesting. So this is the part where the Palpatine arrests Rampart. Chris, could you hear that?
Yes.
Oh, you could hear it. Okay.
No, actually, I couldn't. Sorry. That's fine.
Did you say you couldn't hear it?
No, I couldn't hear it.
Oh
Sorry.
right, no. Oh yeah, sorry. I've put the wrong screen in. No wonder. Sorry. Let's just redo that one then. Chrome tab. There we go. You'll be able to hear it now. Let's go back. There we go.
Log from Admiral Rampart's Venator, which indicates his own ships caused the destruction of Tipoca City.
That looked amazing.
100%.
I love that 3D holographic display. And of course, the Emperor has had enough. You notice the music? Oh, like evil ascending. Oh, I've got chills just looking at that, actually.
It would appear that Senator Chuchi's horrific assertions are correct. This unprovoked attack on Camino was a cowardly act by Admiral Rampart to further his own personal agenda. Guards, arrest and detain the Admiral.
Stay back. I was following orders. I was following
Order! We shall have order!
I am deeply troubled by this recent revelation. My gratitude to Senator Chuchi for exposing a rogue element within our ranks. Many lives have been lost, but I assure you, Admiral Rampart will face the consequences for his treachery.
Ooh.
So now Palpatine arrests Rampart.
Who's that? Who's that? I don't know. Yeah, fantastic. You know, and of course that's voiced by Ian McDiarmid. He's come back to do the Emperor in that. What a scene, Chris! What a scene! That is, it's just what makes Star Wars so good, and it makes me think: did just nobody just look at him and go, "I think he's the bad guy"? Just saying, it looks evil to me. You know what I mean? Yeah, but so we of course they arrest Rampart, and of course the Emperor. It didn't show you there. They clicked off it, but it turns out that what was that? What was the thing that Rampart wanted to put through? The decommissioning of the clones.
Clones for us.
Yeah.
For a army of conscripts.
Conscripts, yeah. And the Emperor goes, "I'm pushing it forward. This is the way to go." So basically, the Bad Batch and the Senator have done Palpatine's dirty work for him. He had it all planned that he wanted it. He wanted that information to come out so he could get rid of the clones. You know what I mean? And bring in his own subscription. You think, and they all knew it. They all were like, "We've done his, we did it. We did it. We did his dirty work yet again." And of course, and towards the end of the episode, Echo decides to stay with Rex to help as many clones as he can get free from the Empire, basically. So no doubt, I think at some point we're going to have Cody back into it. I think Cody's going to come back into it.
Yeah, I think this brings me into a very interesting point of Rebels. And in Rebels, you see Rex, Wolf, and a third clone that I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Gregor? I think it's Gregor. On a planet having fun. But where is Echo? Does he return to the Bad Batch? Or does he lose his life in the battle for the clones? That is one thing that I'm very conscious of as we go forward.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I must admit I like Echo. He's one of my favorite characters. I've got a figure of him. He's just behind me, just over there. And if I don't know why, but if you buy the hot toy, the hot toy version of him, it's quite big. He's got a prosthetic arm. He's got a real prosthetic arm that he clicks in, which I was thinking, oh, they're going to put that in the new show, but they've not. They're not put it in. I don't know. So, Chris, your final thoughts on that episode?
I think it was great. I think that the real plan to show Palpatine was planning for Rampart's problems and for him to be the full guy, and the clones, believing they were doing what's best for their people and the Republic has now become the Empire, and to have all their work turned against them, I think is gut wrenching. I'm excited to see it carry on. I've not watched the next episode, and I'll probably be watching it tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because the tomorrow, of course, it'll be part 2 of the crossing that was on, and when me and Chris come back, that's what we're going to be talking about. So, Chris, if that's it, should we end it right there?
I think so.
Cool. And that brings us to the end of the show. Right. Want to show your love for the show and look ultra cool? Then head over to TeePublic and get your official Radio Free Endor t-shirt, hoodies, or masks, or stickers, mugs, key rings, and mouse mats. They're all available at TeePublic right now. Also, iTunes is still the best place to download the show. And while you're there, why don't you give us a 5-star review? It's the only way we can get more people on board. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, then please smack the like button and hit the subscribe to get notifications of our next show. And you can also reach out to us and search for us on all social media at Radio Free Endor on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and of course, YouTube. And if you want to send any comments about the things we've chatted today, then feel free and drop us an email at radiofreeendor@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at Jamie_R_Burns, and you can find Chris at
Burned Chris.
Cool. Chris, it's been fantastic as always to chat to you. Great to have Jason back on the show after it seems like a long time ago. And to talk about Star Wars. I did notice in his office he's got that Star Wars arcade machine behind him. I was like, it's right behind you, Jason. I can see it. He put a stormtrooper helmet on it, but I could see it. And like we say, if you want any of Jason's prints that he has for sale, then if you head over to www.jasonwchrisman.com, or just put in Star Wars Artist on Twitter. I think his Twitter name is Star Wars Artist. You will find him, and there's links. We've had his page up on the show. You can then go and order one of his prints, and and if you see him walking around, if you bought one and you're coming to Star Wars Celebrations and you see him walking around with his son, he'd be happy to sign it for you, no doubt. He's a great guy, and hopefully, if we get tickets for the nightclub after show, we can all get together and have some good talks and drinks and stuff like that. It'd be great. I'm well looking forward to it as the days lead up to Star Wars Celebrations. What do you reckon, Chris?
I'm super excited for Star Wars Celebrations, and we have to remember that we're not only there to support the actors that make our Star Wars. We're also there to support all the people that are going to be cosplaying, all the people that enjoy this fandom with us. All of the artists that will be presenting art, but also all the people that write books and comics and merchandise for Star Wars. So obviously there's going to be a lot of things to spend our money on, but I would be the one to say we should be conscious to support the people that really need it. And obviously Lucasfilm does get a cut in everything. But we want to support the ones that definitely need it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Please, please, please support these artists that go on. Go to the Artist Alley because their artwork are superb. Hopefully, I'm going to try and get a couple because we're really approaching it fast. Jason was good enough to send me some email addresses to these people. It's my fault. I should have done it ages ago, but I've been so busy. I'm going to reach out to them in the next couple of days, and hopefully the next time we get come on the show, we'll have another one. If I can do some recordings in the meantime, I shall bang them and then put them onto the YouTube channel, or add them to the podcast as I go along. Right, Chris, that's it. It's all time to wrap up the show. Go bed and get up again for a bright new morning. All right.
Lovely.
So thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's been great to see you, to chat to you, and everything like this. If you're just joining us on YouTube, then please whip back to the beginning. You've missed loads of stuff, and we'll be seeing you again real soon. I mean, real soon. All right.
Great. See you all soon.
Take care. Take care. Bye
Bye.
Time to press that end broadcast button. Bye bye.